latest health news in our community. I am joined as always by
J.J. Hotshire, President, Chief Executive Officer. It's been a few weeks.
It has.
That we've had a chance to come here to the studio and speak with our community. And I think I would be remiss if we did not just take a moment to pause and reflect upon the pretty heavy week and weeks, two of them specifically, that we've had as a community. And certainly it's touched all of our lives, and that is the death of Bill Butler, friend, and Bill, as you know, Rachel, and as I have shared with many, spent quite a bit of time here.
Yes.
And Bill worked for us. He actually started our security program here at Hillsdale, and then he also worked out at Three Meadows as our property manager for our medical clinic. Remarkable man, and our community still is suffering. Our community still is trying to piece this all together, and I would just be very, very reflective today of the great support that our community has provided to us as a hospital, having lost one of our own, as well as Bill's wife, who works for us as well, a great provider, a nurse practitioner, does a remarkable job. And I would just encourage our community as we try to find our new way, that we would just keep the Butler family in your prayers and your thoughts. And as the weeks, months, and years pass by, and time fades, and I would encourage each of you to just put something on your calendar in the months ahead and just send a card, send a note of just encouragement, and certainly be there for the Butler family. A lot of activities that are happening around the county, a lot of events, and we would just want to be mindful, Rachel, of the support we need to provide in the months and years ahead. And certainly to thank our community for their outpouring, the cards I've received, the notes, just genuine care and concern for what we have suffered through here as a community.
Right. And also keep our law enforcement community in your thoughts and prayers. They have lost a vital member of their team in that community. And also our hospital family. As JJ mentioned, Bill was such an important part of our hospital family. And so our hospital family is feeling that loss as well.
We are. Okay,
so let's move into our main topic for today, which is primary care. So we've been talking about primary care a lot lately because we've had some really good updates happening. Some things we've been telling you this is coming. Some of those things have now started. Like, for example, Dr. Kirsch is now practicing as of July 1st out at Three Meadows.
Yes. I think, Rachel, and I said this earlier, the landscape for primary care is ever changing. It really is. And it's the nature of our business. I mean, in particular, as you look at people who may move to another community, town, they may move out of state, they may join another practice, they may join another hospital. And so there's always a tremendous amount of movement around primary care. You'll never escape that in any community.
Right.
You came from hospital systems in Indiana. You experience that.
Right.
People leave, they go, they start new families somewhere else. And so we're always trying to identify what are the needs at Hillsdale Hospital. And we do that in many ways. Number one, we have a community needs assessment.
Yes.
And it has identified, Rachel, that primary care is a need in our community. And so we want to meet that need. We're going to talk a little bit more today about how we're addressing that need. But Dr. Kirsch came originally as a primary care provider, was set up at Hillsdale Health and Wellness, and then we had the great opportunity to partner with Hillsdale College to provide healthcare services on their campus for faculty, students, staff.
Yes.
And that has gone remarkably well.
They love him up there.
They love him. We love the relationship with the college. And we also identified that was kind of part-time.
Right.
And so to bring Dr. Kirsch back in full-time, we had this great opportunity to welcome him back in primary care, but a little different twist of where he's going to be.
Yes. So this is our newest primary care location for Hillsdale Hospital, but it is a shared location. So his office is co-located with Dr. Bennett, Dr. Lindauer, and Dr. Kimball's office, formerly Dr. Lusty's office as well. And so we are calling that Three Meadows Family Medicine is the Hillsdale Hospital office within that practice.
Yeah.
And so they're two legally separate entities, just the shared space, and then the staff also supports Dr. Kirsch as they do the other physicians in their practice there as well. So speaking of Dr. Lusty,
Yes.
part of the opportunity for this was as Dr. Lusty retired, Dr. Kirsch is able to help support those providers there in
Yes.
picking up that patient panel and making sure that there's no loss of care or delays
Yeah.
in care for Dr. Lusty's patients now that she has retired. But JJ, tell us a little bit about Dr. Lusty.
Yeah, Dr. Lusty.
She's kind of a legend around here.
Remarkable career here at Hillsdale Hospital. You know, we've talked often times about physicians that retire, and you know, the recent retirement of Dr. Bediako was pretty big for our community. At one point, serving as the only OBGYN in the community and starting programs, and he has now left the country. And so, as time passes, and physicians who started at the same time he did, we anticipate that we're going to see the departure of these physicians, and it's a very sad time for us.
It is.
In many ways, not just because of access concerns, but also just they have been legends.
Yes.
And when you think about Dr. Lusty, let's talk about her career. Spans 34 years here at Hillsdale Hospital. First female chief of staff.
Yes.
Board member,
Yes,
which
and
is unique.
part of the initial board when the hospital went private again
Yes.
in 1995.
And she
She was
helped
part of
lead
that first board as
she,
that happened.
She helped lead that cause
Yep.
afterwards in transitioning out. So she did
Did that for about 14 years.
14 years.
Served on
Yeah.
as chief of medical staff and a member of
and
our
a
board.
member of the board, contributing a significant amount of talent and energy to the hospital, and then just in her primary practice. During that same period that she had primary practice, before we had the hospitalist program, she actually rounded on patients
Right.
every day.
Right.
You could see Dr. Lusty here, wee morning hours to late hours, and she would be rounding on her patients, and just very, a tremendous amount of effort she gave and care to our patients. For my own family, you know, she provided great care to our family, and just a remarkable person. But recognizing that there is a time for everyone in retirement, and spending this
well-earned,
time,
well-deserved
well-earned. And so her and her husband, Mike Jenkins, hopefully they get some time to travel and do some things that they want to do. Their daughter Lauren is still in college, and I know that they want to get her through college, and then consider what they want to do long term. But Dr. Lusty, if you're listening today, we are so grateful for the service that you provided over 34 years here at Hillsdale in a leadership position, many times chief of staff, rounding on our patients at the hospital, serving on various committees. Just really, it's going to be a saddened time here into the future as we consider healthcare without you, but you've earned this. God bless you, and good luck into your retirement.
Yes, yes. So Dr. Kirsch is also accepting new patients, not just helping support the care for Dr. Lusty's patients. So if you would like to book book an appointment with Dr. Kirsch and become one of his patients at Three Meadows Family Medicine, you can visit our website to get all the details on that.
Yep.
I'm thinking Kirsten's probably going to put the phone number up on the screen for us.
She's probably already 10 steps
so
ahead.
she's probably already done it,
Yeah.
or she's about to.
About to.
So we'll make sure we flash that up on the screen for you. You can also visit our website at hillsdalehospital.com for that information. And we also have another farewell to bid to a beloved practitioner in this community.
We do. So my good friend, and I say that with all sincerity, Andy Scholl. When I think of individuals, there are a few that I can just text and be like, hey, you know, having a bad day. And this guy is always constant encouragement. And as I shared earlier, the ever-changing landscape in healthcare with primary care prompts people to leave and go back home sometimes. And so Andrew has done that. Southern Ohio, so the commute of 5 hours is just way too much every day.
Back to move near family for him,
he
right?
is. He wanted to go back to family, and he's going to practice in the community down in Ohio. And we're sad, you know, because Andrew has been here for a very long period of time.
Yes.
Starting his career at Hillsdale Hospital in the emergency department, where, you know, they tell me from the old stories of the days that he was remarkable, and I can see why. And then Andrew did some other things, started his own practice, sold that practice, and then came back to work at Hillsdale where he started. And, you know, every time that I've ever asked Andrew to do anything, I'd say, Andy, I need help here. And he'd say, all right, just tell me when and where.
Right.
Never given me a long, drawn out, no, I can't do it. He'd always be like, yeah, you know, I'll do it.
Right.
And I know he did it.
Yep.
And,
A leader and a team player.
Yeah. when we were retooling some of our work health, and we had lost our provider there, Andrew had no interest at all. And he shared that when we hired him for primary care of ever doing work health. But I went to him and I said, I have a huge need here.
Yeah.
And he kind of stared at me and he knew what was coming next. And I
Right.
said, would you do this? And he said, yeah, I'll do it. And with a happy heart, though, he did
Yes,
it.
he did.
And
He did a great job, too.
He did a great job for us. And then life happens. And he decided that it's time to get back home. And so, Andrew, if you're listening, congratulations on a successful career.
Yes.
I mean, you could have retired last week and fully retired and have served this community well. If you never see another patient, but I know that's your passion of seeing patients. But thank you for the contributions you made in many areas: primary care, emergency department, rounding on our patients, work health, and the list goes on and on.
Yes.
Remarkable, remarkable man.
Certainly left an impression
He did.
on this community.
He certainly did.
Now, we want to remind everyone, we've talked about this before, but we want to remind you that Sherry Gillespie is our newest nurse practitioner. She is out at Reading Health Clinic. It is going remarkably well.
It is.
She is, everyone's just loving her down
Rachel,
there, which is
I'm
great. I
getting-
mean, we're not surprised because of her
not.
reputation when she was practicing
I'm
in
not.
Quincy before she came here.
But the number of comment cards and text messages and emails I'm receiving are so encouraging. Sherry is a remarkable person that has a huge following in the Branch County area, so we're starting to see some
An very enthusiastic following.
absolutely, and we can see why.
Yes.
And has hit the ground running at Reading. And I talked with Lynn Ann and some staff down there. They love her. She is doing a great job for that community, and it's exciting to have a fresh perspective,
Yes.
and to see her clinical acumen shine. This is very good for us in Reading, Michigan, and we're very, very glad to have her with us.
Yes.
And I believe she is taking patients, right?
She is accepting new patients, and she is seeing patients who've been patients at Reading before, so we're excited to have her there providing some really great care and stability in that clinic and to that community. And speaking of primary care clinics overall, we have another new practitioner coming to town
We do.
very soon.
Someone who's well known to our town, having grown up here early on and then did a rotation here with us several years ago. Dr. Heather Muse,
Yes.
DO, and she is moving back to this area from the greater Detroit area where she was practicing. And we are so excited, Rachel, because on our community needs assessment, which is one of the tools we use to say, what does our community need? This has been an identified area of concern, is a lack of providers, to get in for access for primary care.
Which is very common in rural communities.
is.
It's a major discussion in rural healthcare is access to primary care.
Nothing uncommon by any measure. So Dr. Muse, who I believe's photo may appear on your screen soon, maybe not, I don't know, but Kirsten is very good at that.
Yeah.
Dr. Muse will be with us here in a few weeks.
Yes,
and
very
this is
soon.
very exciting because she is going to start practicing primary care, but the other good news is she is going to start serving in a unique leadership role as the medical director of our primary care practices, which means she'll have oversight and direction clinically and from a business operations perspective of all of our primary care clinics. So all of our nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, and physicians that are in primary care specifically will report up to her. And I'm so excited because her leadership experience has demonstrated that she will be phenomenal for our community. The good news is not only is she the medical director, Rachel, she's going to see patients.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about
even
that.
Even more access. So she will be seeing patients at Reading and at Hillsdale Health and Wellness. So you will have the opportunity in either of those locations if you would like to see Dr. Muse as your primary care provider. That will become available once she starts. And we'll put more information out. We'll have a press release and all that good stuff on our website for you when it gets a little closer to her starting with us.
And I think, when we talk about Hillsdale Strong, Hillsdale First, when we set out to identify what are the gaps in care, one of the things that we identify are, all right, is it primary care? Is it specialty care? Can we recruit? Is it difficult to recruit? And do we have the bandwidth to bring that specialty to Hillsdale? In other words, we're not going to be doing heart surgery, okay? But primary care is a baseline. You need primary care because then you, as a consumer of primary care, go to your normal appointments, whether it's your annual checkup or if you're on medication regulation, whatever it is, but you need access. And what we say in Hillsdale Strong, Hillsdale First is we don't want you to leave our community. There's
Right.
plenty of opportunities through a variety of physicians, not just Hillsdale Hospital employed, but partners
Right.
with us.
Right.
You think
Also-
about Dr. Toner, Gutowski, and Dr. Parker in the group,
Right.
and then you look at what we're doing with Kimball Lindauer
Mm-hmm.
and the group with Dr. Bennett. And so our community is comprised, of primary care and then the specialty care, Dr. McCants and what
Right.
he does, our orthopedic surgeons and pulmonologists, and all of those fold up into what we call the continuum of care. But the reason that we really want to strengthen primary care is because we've heard often the lack of access to get into immediate appointments with
Right.
primary care. We're fixing that.
Yes, we are.
And then just, I hear often, JJ, you don't have enough doctors. And so we're trying to make sure that we come together in the full continuum to bring those providers here to Hillsdale. And it's a great sacrifice that we make in hiring and employing these individuals. And the hope is that our community will utilize them
Yes.
so that we can afford to keep those providers here and working in our community. So my only plea to you is if you do not have a primary care physician or maybe yours is retired, please consider seeing Dr. Muse, Dr. Kirsch, or Sherry Gillespie, or any of our other providers that are accepting patients right now, as well as other providers in our community who are good partners with Hillsdale Hospital. And we would just ask to give that some consideration.
That's right. And one last reminder, which I think we might have mentioned on here several weeks ago, maybe it was on our radio program, but
Okay.
we want to congratulate Rihanna,
Oh,
who is out at Hillsdale Health and Wellness. who
Rihanna.
needs no
she
introduction.
needs not. Just
Fleetwood
say that
Mac
first name.
literally wrote a song about her.
They
so
did.
She's,
Exactly.
I mean, she's incredible.
How else do you do it?
Right. So Rihanna, in addition to being an incredible nurse practitioner who sees a significant number of patients and
Hashtag
provides
amazing.
great care to them, yes, she also, in the middle of doing all that, went back to school and got
I know.
her psychiatric mental health nurse
Yeah,
practitioner certification.
she is, wow. So
I don't know how she does that.
so she's on vacation and she's calling, the staff and the director of the clinics, and this is her
She's checking
dedication.
in,
She's
she-
checking in. But she cannot sit still because she really wants to do what's right for patients.
Yes.
And she identified the need for pediatric, psych services and mental health services for pediatric population. Juvenile is, you don't see it very often,
Right.
especially you don't see it in rural communities.
Yes.
So to have her in this specialty is very important. But I do want to caution a couple things. Number one, it is by appointment.
Yes.
Number two, it has to be a referral from your primary care.
Yes.
So we want you to talk to your primary care physician because there should be a relationship between
your
your primary care,
pediatrician.
pediatrician, whoever it is, about having that referral. So Dr. Ellis, our pediatrician in this community, see her and have a conversation about, okay, we are thinking about, and please know, Dr. Ellis knows all about Rihanna. They've had numerous conversations. That referral pattern's already happening.
Right.
But know that we want you to talk to your pediatrician, your primary care, about this opportunity to have a referral to Rihanna. That's going to be very important. But to Rihanna, congratulations.
Yes.
I don't know what she's going to do next. A doctorate already.
Right.
She's already, doing all these other things. She's really integrated herself well into our Hillsdale Hospital medical staff community. And we're so excited that this new
Yes.
service will fill a gap in our community that
Absolutely.
many communities do not have, Rachel.
Right. Right.
They just don't.
That's exactly right. So, with that, do we have any questions from our audience today?
None.
We do not have any questions. All right. Well, JJ, I'll let you wrap it up.
You want me to wrap it up? All right,
Sure.
I can do that.
Why
Why
not?
Why not? So to nominate, a staff member that we have several awards that we try to recognize our staff, and really the best award isn't Rachel or I identifying them because we know they're all superstars. If you do, if you're in here, maybe it was just a casual encounter that you had while you're getting your blood drawn, or maybe it was while you're having an x-ray or a mammogram, or maybe it was because you were in here for an inpatient stay that lasted a very long period of time, or you were a family member who was over on our skilled nursing facility, whatever it was. We want you and we encourage you to nominate a healthcare hero. And you can do that by visiting hillsdalehospital.com and go to the award section, and you can
You'll
nominate.
have to type in /award.
Oh, /award.
That's the quickest way to get to
All right.
it. Yep.
And you can nominate a member of our hospital team. Oftentimes I get comment cards, great food, great staff, great people, but they like to hear that directly from you. And, we can praise him as we do, and we should, but it is always great to have you, the consumer, the family member, really give them recognition. So please consider doing that. And then that nomination will go to us, and then we recognize them as well. I would be remiss if I did not say that we're actively engaged and involved in a capital campaign.
Yes, we are.
And we're very excited here in the very near future to announce the success of that as we fold it along. But there's certainly a great opportunity ahead of us to solicit additional funds. So perhaps as you're determining who you're going to give to this year, and you're making that list, and as you prepare for your end of year giving, which will be approaching in several months, consider Hillsdale Hospital. We're a non-for-profit hospital. We serve a population of individuals that come to us without insurance, with little insurance, underinsured, and we're not like big metropolitan centers where we have all commercial insurance. The population that we serve, 70% Medicaid, Medicare. We still have a population that pay cash, that do not have health insurance, and others who have no insurance whatsoever, but who are making minimum payments, which again, in order to sustain this operation, we have to rely on donations. And it's not a shameless plug here, but it's an important plug that you can look towards your local hospitals providing all these services. We donate millions back into the community, food banks, programs, the things that we do in sponsorship. We need your support as well. And you can do that as a tax-deductible gift. And right now we are running our capital campaign through the end of this year. And Rachel, how do they donate?
Go to hillsdalehospital.com/campaign. It will give you all the options. You can give online. You can set up a recurring online donation. You can send us a check. We've got lots of options for you on there. You can also designate your donation to a specific item of equipment that we are looking to fund with this capital campaign, or you can just donate it to go to the area of highest need within that campaign.
Yeah. And let's talk about the award-winning Hillsdale Hospital place of employment. We've received some awards in the past. You want to talk about those?
Yes, we have. We have been a top workplace in Michigan. We have been a top workplace in the country. We have most recently been a top workplace in the healthcare industry. And so if you want to join this winning team that has a great culture and a great place to be, I find that the best place to work is where you feel like your team has your back, and that is what we have here at Hillsdale, which is great. So visit hillsdalehospital.com/careers to see our current positions that are open. We almost always have positions at every level of skill, experience, education. There are opportunities for just about anybody on our website with that career tab.
Yeah. Now, Rachel, we're WCSR every Friday.
Yes.
And we are always promoting services of the hospital, many times really just talking about what we talk about here. But we're starting another location where we're going to be broadcasting. You want to talk about that?
Yes, we are. Buzz is another station that we're going to be on there online. And so we are going to be, we were with a previous version of Buzz Radio, which was a typical radio station. This is an online station. So we'll put some more information about that out. But that is another place that we will be. And I believe our segments are going to run on Saturdays on Buzz.
Yeah, that's
so we've changed our intro just a tiny bit now, that instead of saying we're bringing you the latest news and every Friday, it says every week, because it might be Friday or Saturday depending on which station you're listening to.
And don't forget to check out our national podcast called Rural Health Rising. So wherever you get your podcast, just make sure you download and subscribe, whatever you need to do to our podcast. We'd love to have you subscribe. And that's important because what we do on a national scale is we talk about how do we save rural health in America. And the dialogue recently has been phenomenal.
Yes.
We're right now engaged on a road trip across the United States where we're interviewing folks.
A virtual road.
Virtual,
a virtual road trip.
I wish we could fly in our private jet, but we don't have one.
Yeah, no,
but would love for you to subscribe wherever you get your podcast to Rural Health Rising. And again, it's always a great pleasure to be here with you every Wednesday when we do these live events. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Hillsdale strong when you choose Hillsdale first. Thanks for joining us.